We are on the march. The empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I could smell victory in the air. And yet I told the crew, told my family, I said, this anti-Trump stuff, I know they're putting 15 points or more against him in the polls, and his polls are still rising. They're in full panic mode. Most of the country is pro-Trump. Only the dumbest, conned trendies aren't. And it's not like we worship Trump. We just recognize he's legitimately calling terrorists losers because that makes people then not go do it. You call them dangerous and evil and powerful and all these nerds. That's who does it. I don't care if they're white, black, Arab, it doesn't matter. It's all the same type, little wimps who are always jealous of women because they don't want to date them. Oh, women don't want to date me. Let me go blow up, 70-something of them. They are, the FBI has profiles, folks. These are literally, well, of course, who wants to go blow up random people? If somebody does something to you, go beat the brains out yourself. And I'm not saying do that either. But that's what, if somebody does something to you, then you might do something back. You don't go blow up little teenagers. They're losers. Losers. Trump is so smart, isn't he, to call them losers, Cernovich.
Exactly right. And we had talked about this, Scott Adams and I talked about how the propaganda by ISIS was created with Hollywood propagandists in mind. So Hollywood had actually helped ISIS do their propaganda videos. That's something a lot of people don't know, that Hollywood gives them scripts, gives them camera footage, tells them how to shoot these really inspiring videos that make these loser nerds think that they're going to go.
I was about to say, some of the footage that ISIS puts out, Stanley Kubrick couldn't do it.
Exactly. That's Hollywood. So a lot of people don't know that Hollywood actually teaches them how to shoot footage. They write scripts for them. There's a big terrorist connection between Hollywood and ISIS. And that Kathy Griffin thing was a direct effigy. It was a direct unconscious message to ISIS to say that we love you and we worship you and that we adore you. That was the whole reason she did that. It was a tribute to ISIS. And it was so bad, again, that the Church of Satan even said, hey, keep us out of this. This is an ISIS thing. There's nothing about us involved in this. So what they do is Hollywood teaches ISIS how to do propaganda videos. And then all these guys like that, 35-year-old loser, never done anything, can't meet girls, can't do anything. He thinks, wow, I'll go be a hero. I'm going to go live this cool life because he has nothing else going on in his life. Because none of us, if you think about it, none of us want to kill anybody because we're not homicidal, first of all. But moreover, you have a wife, you have kids, you have children, you have friends, you have family, you have community, you have culture, you have info warriors. Why would anybody want to lose that? You want to live? I want to live a long time. I want to live forever. I don't want to blow myself up or hurt somebody.
Exactly. I want to live to 120 and meet my great-great-grandchildren and, see space colonies and everything else.
Exactly right. And we want to do positive things for the world, but we're not the market for ISIS. The market for ISIS are these loser beta dregs who have no masculinity. A lot of them are male feminists. There's actually a guy, I believe in Seattle, who was an online male feminist activist who was just arrested for killing his ex-girlfriend or something like that. So male feminists have a very high degree of sexual predation and of murder. So Hollywood, again, is teaching ISIS how to run propaganda films. And then by having Kathy Griffin hold that head with all the blood on it, that was their way of saying, we agree with ISIS. And of course, the fake news media, CNN, has not fired Kathy Griffin, which tells me that CNN therefore supports ISIS. I can't reach any other conclusion. Do you?
You're absolutely right. And it's even come out in mainstream news that white helmets assisted public-held executions in rebel Syria. So the white helmet folks are basically an al-Qaeda jihad force. I can't believe Salon even told the truth about that, but there it is. Do a few more minutes with us. I've got Roger Stone here, but I want to war plan with you some more because I meant to start the show with what you just said, Cernovich, that this is the left's love of radical Islam, their ode to it, their obsession with it, the women wearing the hijabs, USA Today saying women are wearing the hijab as this act of solidarity and feminism against Trump. I'm going to throw up. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, the left is now openly embracing Islam. Kathy Griffin, though, has gone too far, simulating an ISIS beheading of the president, as ISIS itself is encouraged by MSN and by MSNBC to attack Trump Towers with truck bombs. We have the video. They are openly terrorist. Here's a clip of some of the scumbags calling for Trump's death.
His wife said, well, he's a tough guy. He's not a tough guy. He's a bully and he's a bitch and he can suck my and I'll meet him in a hotel room any day of the week and give him a Louisville Slugger. Kiss my mother ass.
That's white trash right there.
Punk sucker.
That is white trash.
I'm angry.
There's more trash.
Yes.
Yes, I hate the West.
I am outraged.
Yes, I'm an evil person.
Yes. I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
You thought a lot about sending your ass to Saudi Arabia. Now look at Snoop. He's so tough. Simulates killing President Trump. Oh, he's so tough. Now they want to kick the Civil War off through the Open Society Institute that works to overthrow elected governments all over the world, like Ukraine. George Soros, of course, is involved. So why are they so upset about Kathy Griffin now? Roger Stone's here. I want to get some final comments from Mike Cernovich. You've got some big breaking news. We have launched a giant $200,000 contest just to add excitement. $1,000 if you get Infowars.com and the fact that mainstream media is a terroristic organization. Not just CNN. It could be CNN, MSNBC, I don't care. But Kathy Griffin hopefully can be in it with the severed head of Trump. $1,000 each time you do it. $2,500. A couple people won repeatedly. One guy won 3 times. If you get Infowars.com out 3 or 4 times, along with that they're terrorist media, that they're fake news, that they're enemies of the American people. But Mike Cernovich said something so key. He was pointing out earlier that this is their ode to Islam. You have them wearing the hijabs. You have them at the rallies I saw in D.C. handing out thousands of hijabs. The Soros lady that's being funded is an Islamicist who is for sexual mutilation of women. You've got this obsession with the left everywhere saying kill Trump supporters, kill Trump's family. But why now suddenly are they turning on Kathy Griffin and saying, oh, my God, she's in trouble? And finally, USA Today saying it's wrong and CNN, but not firing her. Because they're getting ready for the riots and the violence in July they've been planning publicly, and they want to now pull back a little bit from the explosion. This is simply, they've laid the explosives. They're now evacuating back, posing, in my opinion. What do you think, Mike Cernovich?
Yeah, they definitely realized that they went too far. All CNN, if CNN had really cared about this, I mean, think about it. If I did an image of that like that, Alex, you'd like text me and be like, hey, Cernovich, you got to go do your own thing, and that's just the way it's going to be. You don't need to wait 50,000 hours like CNN did and then say, well, we're still going to keep her on CNN, but we're going to evaluate it. I hope it blows over. So what happened is Kathy Griffin showed their hand. That we can no longer deny it because Roger Stone, you, others, we have long said that the media is inciting violence.
And it was shot in that super HD color, just like the ISIS videos. And people subconsciously, it's now come out, Hollywood helped produce a lot of those. Obama was behind ISIS, the Arab Spring, the globalists, George Soros. This has all come out that the white hats are executing people are really Al-Qaeda. That's mainstream news. So it's all people, those subconsciously went, I've seen that same super 35 millimeter glossy look before.
Exactly. So they went too far, too fast. But you know what? The Patriots are waking up, and that is why this contest is so important. That is our counterstrike. They're committing terrorism on us. They want everybody here listening to die. They want you murdered. They want your children kidnapped. The media, if they could push a button right now and kill all of your children, they would in a second. They hate us. They hate us.
And by the way, Cernovich isn't just saying this. The leftists are mentally ill people, losers, scum, and sociopathic and psychopathic elites. They want total conquering. They see us as schmucks that want open, free societies. They see us as jokes that actually care about free market and actually care about people's freedoms. They are allied with authoritarianism because they worship at the dark idol of tyranny. This is a historic fact. But they want a war? Cry havoc and let loose the dogs of war. They want to kill our republic? Well, the ghost of our king, Jesus, is now ravenously walking, the battlefields of the mind, and they have sown the wind. They are now reaping the whirlwind politically. They hope for violence because they are intellectually losing the war of ideas with us. Mike Cernovich, incredible job. Great idea with this contest. You're going to be a big part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just to emphasize your point, all that pro-pedophilia stuff comes from the left, too. Pro-pedophilia, pro-terrorism, pro-broken homes, attacking the family. We can now declare the left is a death cult. This is 100% fact. They worship death. Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely. That's why they're allied with ISIS and al-Qaeda. That isn't rhetoric. We're going to get to your big breaking news, Roger, but wow, what do you make of this iconic image of the president in this video in HD having his head cut off? Looked real, scared Barron, the classic ISIS image. You know, we've got the left saying kill him everywhere, getting away with it. Why suddenly has it hit such a chord? I think this signifies a major tipping point. I told you last week on the phone, I said, I think these attacks on Trump are bouncing off. I think the public is now not buying any of it. I think it's now hit a saturation point where it's beyond fatigue, where it's torture, and I believe their terrorization of the public is now backfiring.
Alex, this is nothing short of sick. I mean, in Hollywood, this is how you revive a flagging career. This woman was going nowhere. She couldn't get her name in the newspaper. She couldn't get in the media. So she pulls a stunt like this. Now, we'd like to think that this is a career ender. We'd like to think that the left will now censure her, but they won't. This is actually, sadly, reflagged her career. She's all over the news today, and that's what they sought to do. Incite violence, disrespect, and undermine the President of the United States with these kind of violent images. This just shows you how sick Hollywood has become, how sick the Hollywood-New York access has come. Yesterday, we had Rick Derringer, the rock legend, with us. He and his wife discussed about how they have been snubbed and insulted and abused over their support for Donald Trump by the Hollywood left, by the entertainment industry. Instead, you get freaks like this getting incredible coverage.
Absolutely, and it's been in the news. I heard about it years ago, but I've had top producers visit me. I mean, guys that put on shows on television that have budgets of $150 million. I mean, people bigger than Chris Carter. I'll just leave it at that. And they're in secret societies and have to have secret conservative libertarian meetings in L.A. and Houston and other places. I've been invited to them. And I said, yeah, sure, maybe sometime. I'm pretty busy. I'm not snubbing them. I just don't have time to go to secret, right-wing meetings or whatever. But it just shows how crazy this country has gotten, that people have that have made hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're not even conservative. They're just libertarian. Like Kurt Russell's one of the few guys that said, look, I like George Washington, I like America, I like freedom, I'm not liberal, I'm not conservative, but I'm not allowed to be who I am. They call me a right-winger, and I'm sick of it. And the Second Amendment is a good thing. All these rich Hollywood people have bodyguards, but then they don't want the public to have it. It's a load of crap. And they tried to get him in trouble. The truth is, most people in Hollywood are libertarians. It's the big producers and the Democratic Party that run it and use it for propaganda that threaten them with their jobs if they don't stay on the plantation.
The most incredible thing about this, I think, Alex, is what happened to the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy and Harry Truman? What happened to the patriotic liberal Democrats? The Democrats now nationally seem to be a rollover for radical Islam, for any politically correct meme that comes along. They are no longer patriotic. They are no longer pro-hard work. They're no longer pro-middle class. What happened to that Democratic Party? It's evaporated under the leadership of Barack Obama and the Clintons. It's a disgrace.
And let's be clear. When you're saying this is not political rhetoric. They are literally the party of revolution, death, Islam, Satanism, having trannies teach 3-year-olds how to have sex. I mean, it's just, you see the stuff. It's so over the top. They're like the party of mental illness.
It's almost hard to fathom because I don't see the political viability of their point of view. I mean, what voter would vote for their kind of weak-kneed, pasty-faced, left-wing rolling over for people who want to destroy our democracy?
And by the way, I'd call you a libertarian. I mean, you're for gay rights. You've gone to gay pride parades. You're for marijuana legalization. I mean, but you still want lower taxes and a strong country.
Well, I'm a patriot. I believe in maximum personal freedom. I don't want the government in my bedroom or the boardroom.
Well, that's what I'm getting at here is the left is just a screaming cult that wants to make us take their sexual preference, that wants to make us live like they say, that wants to tell us what words to use, and then they're allied with the most monotheistic, chauvinistic, oppressive death cult. I mean, what is their problem?
You know, it's very hard to understand where the constituency is among voters in the Democratic Party for what they're peddling. This is why
Trump's promoting prosperity, and he's delivering it, and they're pissed.
But this is why the Trump Democrat is now important. The Trump Democrat who swung Wisconsin, who swung Michigan, who swung Pennsylvania. This is, I think, the makings of an entire political realignment, where you have a new coalition of traditional Republicans, libertarians, and right-thinking, working-class, patriotic, hardworking, union member Democrats.
We're talking about survival, common sense party. I mean, the anti-suicide party, the anti-national suicide party. We'll be back with big breaking news on the latest that old George Soros, that old snake's up to, straight ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows that I come in here someday and do pretty calm shows, and I only get excited when stuff's really hardcore. They are planning massive riots this summer. I'm going to get more into that later. Open the phones up. Roger's riding shotgun with us into the next hour. Other guests are joining us as well. You've got so much geopolitical news. Trump is really trying to get tax cuts through Congress. He's really trying to repeal Obamacare. He's really trying to kick the globalists out and get small business loans going. And they're really running around saying, kill him. But Roger Stone has exclusive inside intel that he's breaking right now. Because I want to be positive about Trump, but it's so complex. Even with a company with 70 employees, I don't know what a lot of them are doing sometimes. They're great people, but we've had some moles, we've had some problems before. Everybody's experienced that who's had a lot of people under him. Trump's got thousands of people under him. He's got a major Soros mole discovered in the White House, breaking now. Roger Stone.
Alex, this is really hard to believe, but I confirmed the facts again this morning. George Soros has penetrated the Trump White House. Soros has planted a mole infiltrating the national security apparatus. A woman named Fiona Hill, who has a Harvard background, has been on the Soros payroll and the payroll of the Open Society Institute, has been brought into the Trump White House by General McMaster. The reason this is significant is because, as you know, the Hungarian government has been fighting the Open Society Institute, which is a front in Hungary to destabilize the Hungarian government.
And we should add, they are patriot right-wingers that are pro-Trump, pro-Ron Paul. They just don't like Islamic invasion.
And I am told from the best possible sources in the Trump White House that only days ago in a showdown meeting, this woman, Fiona Hill, now on the national security staff, argued that she was a Russian expert and that the Trump administration must oppose the Hungarian efforts to crack down and expose on the so-called Open Society Institute.
That's the group that overthrew Ukraine. That's the group that was openly behind the Arab Spring. That's the group openly behind ending the free press here. That's the group openly behind funding the cop killer Black Lives Matter groups and literally funding the groups chanting, kill the cops, deck the hall with dead cops. Why would anyone put up with this load of baloney?
And why would anyone have a woman with this background, Brookings Institute, Harvard, George Soros, Open Society, in the Trump White House? This defies all reason. Now, my sources tell me that McMaster brought her in. My sources tell me that she is now asserting herself, claiming to be a Russian expert, and is outraged that the Trump administration would consider joining the Hungarian government and opposing the Open Society Institute.
And let's expand on this. Next, we're going to hear, when Trump tried to block the Russian expert, was he obstructing justice and aiding the Russians? That'll be next. in this load of manure if you don't support George Soros letting the Muslims in to Eastern Europe, where they've been overrun more than anybody for 1,400 years. Eastern Europe, ladies and gentlemen, are the ones that stopped the Islamic invasions over and over again. We owe our very existence to Hungary and Romania and Poland and places like that, who stopped the Muslims' invasions more than 75 times. It cost millions of European lives battling these people.
Well, Alex, as you know, I am of Hungarian descent. This strikes home. The fact that people accuse me of being in bed with the Russians, let's be very clear. The Russians crushed my family members in the 1956 revolution, the 1956 revolt. So it is anathema to me, this idea that I...
But you've always been a famous anti-communist. You helped round a bunch up in the 80s.
Yeah, but let's be very clear. What is happening to Carter Page is exactly what is happening to me. This morning, it was revealed by the President of the United States that the House Intelligence Committee is stalling on the testimony of Mr. Page. That's because they have nothing, nada, bupkis.
And they won't release the memo. The memo's fake, and Comey said there was no obstruction. They're caught red-handed.
And former chairman of the committee, Nunes, said this morning that the committee has not called and not interviewed a single witness. They're in slow-mo here because they know they have nothing. And that gutless, pasty-faced, wimpy Adam Schiff from California does not have the cojones to face me in a public...
And that's why for, 7 months they've been saying they're going to call you, but they never call you to these bozo hearings. They just attack you in absentia when you're not there. Why don't they bring a pinata in and then have like a recorder saying, I'm Roger Stone, I'm guilty, I'm a Ruski, I'm a commie?
Well, what they proposed is a closed session, 2 members from both parties, no transcript. Unacceptable, because they will misrepresent...
They will leak BS just like the Comey memo that does... Why do you think they won't release it? Doesn't exist?
Doesn't exist. There is no Comey memo.
You said that back at the time. That's why Trump said, be careful, I got your ass on tape, you little scumbag.
We're on the march. The
Clinton operative?
On the run.
Yeah.
Alex
America's
Jones
fighting back now.
Radio
Get
Network.
ready, scum! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty good at reading tea leaves, and I know it's going to be successful, and I know it's not. And I pretty much operate, though, off the energy in the country and the world, and just what I analytically see, what I intellectually see, but what I feel at a gut level. And I've been feeling the last few months and seeing the globalists throw everything they've got against America and against sovereign nations like Brazil and others that are trying to pull out of globalism, this unelected corporate government. Trump is killing TPP. He's killed it. He's killing NAFTA and GATT. He's renegotiating all this stuff. He's going there and literally, when they try to block him, getting to the front podium, pushing past globalist minions. I mean, they are freaked out by somebody actually representing America, but more importantly, prosperity. And that's what the Renaissance is about, is getting out of stagnation. So that's why they're after Trump. We're going to get more into the infiltration here in a moment. But they're coming after us because they know prosperity is outcompeting their authoritarian model. And that's why I have now energetically felt and seen in the last week their full will against us. I can like feel it being lifted back. It's still bad, but now it's more of panic. They don't know what to do. There are major power forces that are making more money than ever, and they're kind of saying, why are we trying to have austerity and make everybody poor to control them when Trump's plan and the American system, that's all it is a return of that, is so much better. So the sexiness of America is just too sexy. People can't turn it down. And the return of it, they've tried to kill it, they've tried to make it ugly, they've tried to make the architecture ugly, the clothing ugly, everything ugly. That's been declassified to make you give up and not realize the incredible human potential you've got. And that's why they're panicking. Here's the news. We just retweeted it at Real Alex Jones. CNN has terminated our agreement with Kathy Griffin to appear on our New Year's Eve program. Oh, she'll be back. But the point is, will they terminate all their other reporters saying kill Trump? We'll go over some of those people. Will the guy at MSNBC saying, please blow up Trump Tower, ISIS? I mean, will he get arrested? Because that's way worse than what she did. And I'm not defending her. I'm just pointing that out. So we're going to get to that more here in just a moment. But first off, we need funding. Let me tell you, if we get robust funding, you won't see $200,000 contests. You'll see $1 million contests. I'm building a $500,000 studio, which sounds like a lot. That's very inexpensive. A Fox studio is probably like $10 million. I'm building all sorts of stuff, satellite uplinks, closed captioning, all the stuff you got to do to really launch a network. You've seen us expand over the years. We're really about to start running, not just walking. We've been growing. We had to build the structure. Now we're ready to explode. And every time I tell you that, we explode next level. And we explode to the next level, there'll be nothing as big. And it's not about being big, though. It's about being able to take on the globalist at point-blank range. Big fish eat little fish. I want to be as strong and as focused and as robust and as committed going into this fight. So please support InfoWars. The main way you do it is supporting our local radio stations, local advertisers. Sending them a check is smart as well. We're in an info war, trying to shut talk radio down. That's so essential. Telling everybody about the station you listen to, and then financially supporting Infowars.com. And you do that by getting the new CNN terrorist shirt with Kathy Griffin on the cover with Trump's chopped off head, just to point out that these people are absolutely committed to destroying free speech. You also, we were extending the Memorial Day mega specials are extended throughout this weekend. Free speech is now being censored across the web, and independent Patriot media has come under attack like never before. To help fund Patriot media and fight back against these attacks, we have extended our Memorial Day mega specials at InfoWarsStore.com. Take advantage of these unprecedented mega specials and help support the tip of the spear in the fight against the globalist. Silver Bullet, colloidal silver, 65% off. Supermel Vitality, now back in stock after months, 30% off. Survival Shield X2, 40% off. The great halogen that blocks the fluoride and all the rest of the garbage. Brain Force, 47% off, now 20% more in each bottle. All of these, you sign up for auto ship, takes 1 second to do, cancel anytime, you cancel right off your order. You get 10% off additionally. Secret 12, 43% off. Knockout Sleep Aid, 50% off. All InfoWars Trump t-shirts to get them out there. And they're selling out right now, 75% off. That's at cost. InfoWarsStore.com. Make the commitment to financially support us today. Wear these shirts out in public. You will meet like-minded people, unless you're in San Francisco or Austin. You might get physically assaulted if you're in downtown Austin. But, hey, that's what it's all about, standing up for free speech. But if you wear an InfoWars shirt, it's not as bad. You just meet like-minded people. But if you wear a Kathy Griffin shirt, CNN terrorist, people will then resonate and understand it's MSM. That's what's really unpopular. That's what's really out of control. Then it's not even political. It's about understanding that the media is the enemy of the American people. And we've launched the new contest, exposing the MSM terrorist organization, Operation Expose Terrorist Media, Infowars.com/contest. Go to the front page, $200,000 cash prizes. Infowars launches Operation Expose Terrorist Media / Kathy Griffin. And they really are terrorizing us, bullying us. Get on TV with CNN as ISIS or MSNBC as ISIS. I don't care. You get on there and you expose they're the enemies, they're the fake news. You can be creative. $2,500 if you get Infowars.com out repeatedly. We probably need to add repeatedly. It needs to be, good clean on there. And a $1,000 prize for anyone seen with CNN is ISIS on the T-shirt. We should add to that, Infowars.com. We did all this morning, wrote this up this morning, so I'm doing this by the seat of my pants, but we need to be specific there. And again, I always reserve the right to refuse any of these. We need to add that at the bottom because it could be operatives or globals trying to do it to discredit us or something. So, but we paid out on all these before, but it's not about the money. It's about the excitement. It is about taking action. It is about changing the world, and it's about showing them there's more of us than them, and we're taking action. With the iconic Bill Clinton rape shirt, before we get into the other news, that Roger Stone developed, and that was then worn on TV everywhere. Now, that's part of the contest. Wear one of our shirts, you'll win. Get it on TV. But it'll take a week to get those out to you. Print off the prints we've got on the site. Make your own. Whatever it is, it can be creative. As long as it exposes that the media are the terrorists, that the media are the enemy, that the media are fake news. It can be that too. With Infowars.com added to it, you will win. We've got big posters ready. You can print them up, go to Kinko's or wherever, put them on poster board. They got that foam board, so it's hard, and absolutely dominate. You're a business owner. Any town out there, You can call. They've got rolling billboards that drive around. They're not even that expensive. I've done it myself, digital and others. Just pay to have that. Have it parked in front of the National Fox or CNN where they do their live shows. Have it pull in right as they're live. That's how you do it. That's how you. It's not about the money. It's not about winning the money. I just offer $200,000 to show folks how committed I am and to make it fun, and then to have people on that are able to do this and recognize them on air and show people we're the power. And even if the globalists shut the internet off, like they're talking about doing and trying to take the president out during martial law, we can hit the streets on live TV. We can hit the streets. Now do this legally and lawfully. But if martial law comes in, then the gloves come off in the info war. Now, Roger Stone, you got the floor for the rest of the hour. I've been ranting, but can you talk about the Bill Clinton is a rapist contest and your Bill Clinton rape shirt that helped me think of the idea?
Yeah, Alex, this, I think, is a graphic example of how effective these campaigns can be. We developed the iconic Bill Clinton rape T-shirt largely because there was a mainstream media blackout of the truth of Bill Clinton's long trail of sexual assaults and rapes of innocent women. The media wanted to call it indiscretions and infidelities. They tried desperately to downplay it. It was only, Alex, until you went out with a very similar contest and you said, anybody who will get this T-shirt on TV and get the words, Bill Clinton is a rapist, out of their mouth, will be rewarded. I remember you upped the total amount several times, and it was like a prairie fire.
It was about, I said 120, it was like 137,000 we paid out.
And you paid out every penny, and you could see it on local TV, you could see it on network TV, you could see it across the board.
And people are still doing it.
We tracked it. We tracked it, and we broke through. The voters finally got the point that Bill Clinton was not only guilty of sexual assault, but more importantly, that Hillary Clinton was the one who had bullied these women, who had threatened them, who had intimidated them into silence. It's a graphic example of how you can take action here at InfoWars and why this new contest will work, in my opinion.
I agree with Ben Garrison. She absolutely beheaded herself. She cut her own nose off here, despite her face.
She'll be back. That's the sad thing about the lefties in Hollywood. This is a temporary interregnum. Wait and see. She'll make a comeback in 3 months, and some lib-lab producer, some lib-lab network will hire her to spew her hatred yet again.
Well, that's like these failed comedians that have these different shows on Netflix. That they'll have almost no viewers. They'll have less than 1-star support. And so Netflix has just gotten rid of the stars on specific programs so people can't downvote them. That's like Amy Schumer. I mean, she is just this hateful, anti-male, anti-American dirtbag, and they try to force feed her as some new sex symbol we all have to bow down to.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. The other thing I wanted to comment on, Alex, I think you may have seen this. You heard it here first on InfoWars. On The View today, we begin putting forward the idea that Donald Trump has Alzheimer's.
You said that 2 weeks ago in studio.
That he's infirm, that he's mentally slipping, that he's confused. This is all BS. Ask the European leaders who completely mishandled the president on the question of the Paris climate accords.
Trump is so sharp that when I've had conversations with him, he finishes my sentences and totally takes over the conversation, and it's like he's reading your mind.
Well, and he remembers your conversation from your previous...
But I mean, he has the brain of like a super sharp 20-year-old. This is the most ridiculous branding. But how did you know 2 weeks ago they were going to start this branding? Because they're saying, the Yale psychologist violating the Goldwater rule and their own licenses, saying he's obviously mentally ill, remove him.
Oh, and also this analysis of his speech patterns. You see, so we've analyzed his speech patterns, and we see that they've changed over the last 2 years, and that means that he has Alzheimer's and he's slipping. This is vile, but this is...
He talks different to different audiences. He's that smart.
But this is why, you see, they know the Russian thing is a loser. They know it's not working. They know they have nothing. They're standing.
So you agree with me? They're panicking.
Yeah. So that's why we're now moving to the
Alzheimer's.
He's crazy meme, because we can't show that he's a Russian traitor. So let's undermine him by saying he's mentally deficient, that he's slipping. It's an insult to his family. It's an insult to the presidency. It's an insult to the country that they're going to try to feed this pap. But if you go on The View, you'll see Whoopi and the girls pushing this ridiculous false narrative.
You've been on that show. They want me on. Should I do it? And I've been on there too, but what's the point of it?
Well, first of all, it helps you reach a mass audience, and I'm confident that you can handle it. By the way, I heard that you're going to be sitting down with Megyn Kelly.
Oh, yeah, she's coming to town. She's coming to town next week.
Now, that will be quite a match. Alex Jones and Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, but it's taped. It's taped.
I know you, and I know her. I'm betting on you.
No, I mean, they're going to be able to edit it however they want. But, I mean, the producer was so over the top, fake nice. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. You're going to love it. I'm like, I'm not stupid. And Megan's like, oh, we're going to get dinner, a nice big steak. And I said, Megyn, you don't like me. Stop acting like it. She goes, I do. I want to do a new magazine. She said it was an off-record conversation. So I'm not going to get into all of it.
No, look,
I just want it known. I'm not doing the interview because she's a pretty girl. I'm doing it because I can't be a wimp and turn it down.
Look, I think you should take her out for a big piece of meat. They got the best steakhouses in the world right here in Austin. I can't wait to see this interview.
Well, I'll be sure and take my wife if that happens. But, you know, the whole point is that I guarantee when the interview's over, it's not going to be, let's go get dinner. That's just all, it's just like, you know, putting a worm on a hook, man. It's crazy how MSM will act like they're your friend and every time screw you over.
Yeah, but you're fearless. That's the point.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I just want the audience to know, I know I'm walking into a trap. But I think they're so discredited that just like when Cernovich was on 60 Minutes, you know, Pele just lost his job.
Yeah,
I mean, the guys, they're arrogant. He says dumb things like, Hillary campaign says she's never been sick. You're a conspiracy theorist. And he goes, man, you guys lie about WMDs. Nobody believes you. They didn't get that their con game doesn't work anymore, Roger.
Well, interesting. If I recall correctly, when you and I both raised the question of Hillary's health, we were accused of making it up. Last week at Wellesley, she had another coughing fit. She couldn't recover from the coughing fit.
And it's the same one. It's known when you have Parkinson's from the brain tumors and surgery she's reportedly had that it isn't just shaking. The drugs can take care of that, but they can't deal with core brainstem issues, and that it starts closing in on you, and that coughing fits are the hallmark of the type she's having, that the medication can't help.
Well, look, in a perfect world, when she came down off the podium at Wellesley, there should have been 2 federal marshals there to slap the cuffs on her and drag her off.
Oh, that was the great part. I love how she's saying, I beat Trump and I beat Bernie. You know, she publicly stole it from Bernie. That's admitted. And then she can't even hardly talk while she's saying it. See, Pinocchio's nose grows when he lies. She starts coughing, and I guess like Darth Vader's interdimensionally choking her.
It's like a tell.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tell. I'm lying because
she's choking.
The coughing starts. But here's the other thing. Why did she wear the Monica Lewinsky type beret? Was that an attempt to look like Monica? I couldn't figure out what she was doing there. But she can't get history right. She says Richard Nixon was impeached. He wasn't. The difference between her husband and Richard Nixon was when he decided his presidency was hurting the country, he had the good sense and the patriotism to step down. Something.
By the way, she looks like Casper she looks like if Gamelons or Martians invaded, that green skin. I mean, we haven't altered that video. She looks like she's dying up there.
She does not look healthy. That's fair to say.
Oh, my gosh. You know, shifting gears, back into how they're planning riots this summer, the very Open Society Foundation you're talking about. So Soros has literally infiltrated. Tell folks the name of this lady again. This is big news.
Fiona Hill, again, is now on the national security apparatus staff in the Trump White House, formerly at the Brookings Institution, the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard, has been long on the Soros payroll. One cannot even fathom what she's doing inside the Trump White House. Now, the good news is that the president has been sticking to his agenda despite some very bad inside advice. The best example of this was when presidential advisor and chief economic advisor Gary Cohn, formerly of Goldman Sachs, told the New York Post only days ago the president was coming to the conclave on climate change so that he could get smart, so that he could become better informed
like the elites.
Issues. This was part and parcel of an attempt by Mr. Cohn and Dina Habib Powell to push the president towards folding on climate.
And instead, he came out even more brazenly against it.
And did the absolute right thing. Instead of being led by his handlers, he stood up for
he needs to get rid of that moron. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back live. We have a special guest joining us. in the next hour who went and camped out at Maxine Waters' house and exposed the fact that she needs to be impeached. Omar Navarro is running for Congress out there. And I know that I'm a fan of his videos. I've seen him, also a fan of his work. Show is Owen Schroyer. He'll be in here with us a little bit later in the next hour.
She's got a big problem, Maxine Waters, because I hear the James Brown Foundation wants their wig back.
But you heard Putin invaded Korea.
Yes.
In Eastern Europe. He's in Eastern Europe with the invasion of the Koreas. Putin invaded the Korea. And by the way, she's done it like for the 9th time. There's another video. In fact, we have to play that next hour. I forgot to tell the crew about it, where the leader of the Democrats in the House, Nancy Pelosi, still thinks George W. is the president 9 years later, 8.5 years later, and then can't remember Trump's name. She goes, I mean, these people are crazy.
Well, in the case of Maxine Waters, I made this point yesterday, she and her husband have engaged in business activities that would send a white conservative Republican to prison. She's gotten a pass during the Obama years. I think Jeff Sessions and the new Justice Department need to review all of their business dealings, because it's rank corruption, Alex.
Why are they allowed to do whatever they want?
The folks at Judicial
Democrats
have done a superb job of exposing Maxine Waters and her husband. They're corrupt. If she were a Republican, she'd be in prison right now.
But they're calling Trump mentally ill, while Democrats are in the news saying white genocide's good. These are white guys. Ban whiteboards, ban the family, have tranny reading days for toddlers at the New York Library. Just complete insanity. Uma Abedin has invited Anthony Weiner back home a week after she said.
Hey, you saw this yesterday. Tucker Carlson tangled with a member of the D.C. City Council who was insisting that this Puerto Rican terrorist was some kind of hero, a man who robbed and killed people. And he was trying to argue that's legitimate political dissent, Tucker, because you white people have oppressed us. That's essentially his argument.
That's like saying if a black guy robbed me, then I would randomly go out and attack black people. I mean, that's like saying if my great-great-grandfather did something wrong, I'm guilty. Or my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grand. I mean, that's worse than the Soviet Union, where if your neighbor did something wrong, you'd go to jail too.
Look, I give Tucker credit for tolerance. If it were me, I would have grabbed that guy's bow tie and shoved it down his throat. He was very good in this exchange.
That's right. We're going to play that clip coming up the next hour. We've got so many of these clips to get to. Again, why do you think they have now basically fired the reporter slash entertainer slash moron that is out there saying chop the head off of Trump, basically?
Because I think they recognize that, once again, they have overstepped. And also, they're in the middle of shifting themes. We have an uprising coming. Of that, there is no doubt. It was going to be based on the fact that we have to drive Trump from office because he's a Russian traitor. That's not selling to the American people. They can't come up with any iota of evidence. So the new thing...
I've noticed he, about a week after you said it, incompetent, an idiot, a moron. He couldn't clue with Russia. He's too stupid.
It's mentally. He's mentally feeble. He's mentally slipping. This is going to be the new theme.
He won't listen. He doesn't want to pay Al Gore carbon taxes.
Yeah. So this is going to be the new theme in which they try to justify this street uprising.
By the way, we got you some great pizza here in Austin. That's what you wanted. We'll do 5 more minutes. You can go get some pizza because you're hosting the 4th hour today, Roger.
I can't wait.
And soon, 5 nights a week. He's going to be on at night. Roger Stone, you heard it here first. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWar. Infowars.com. Stay with us. Back in 70.
Thank you for listening to
And you totally about to tune in because they are trying to shut us down.
Visit GCNlive.com.
Kind of makes them mad when you support us.